training program. Beatrice Mwape has compiled this report, read by Olive Piri.
For 3 weeks, the parliamentarians have undergone intensive training in law, governance, democracy, financial oversight, as well as mental and physical wellness, among others. According to officials, the diverse backgrounds from which the members come place them at a disadvantaged position in understanding and effectively executing their parliamentary duties. Speaking during the closing ceremony, First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Victor Musowa, says the skills and knowledge acquired, particularly in financial oversight, will enhance the legislators' capacity to effectively play their role and contribute to the prudent use of the CDF under the new guidelines. He says the training is crucial in ensuring that guidelines are followed and that there is effective implementation of the funds to bring about positive impact.
The CDF guidelines out there, now the councils have started to work. The members of parliament will make sure what is in the guidelines is followed. The other issue is in the implementation of the CDF. Remember, CDF used to be a one-man's job. Decisions at times were made by one person. It's no longer the same. We'll oversight on them, on their implementation. The community will give us feedback. Whatever comes out of there is for us Malawians. If there's need for them to be looked or panel beaten, we'll look into that.
On his part, Director General of the Malawi School of Government, Professor Louis Zimbiri, has held the strong collaboration between Parliament and the Malawi School of Government. He says their aim is to transform the country's public service landscape by equipping public officers with the capacity to perform and deliver improved service to Malawians.
We want people to perform very well. Everyone performing their roles, you would find that service delivery in this country would certainly improve. So in order to do that, we have to build their capacities, their skills, their knowledge, their competences.
Speaking on behalf of fellow lawmakers, legislator Fonkotakota Liwaladzi Tokozile Luonji Chanjo says the training will shape their duties and help them strike a balance between their responsibilities and well-being. She has since encouraged fellow parliamentarians to apply the knowledge and skills acquired to bring tangible change in their constituencies and the country.
But it also helps us when it comes to the oversight, the representation, and how can we manage to strike a balance when it comes to leadership, do the right oversight in our constituencies with the new guidelines of the CDF. Not only that, it also helps us when it comes to representation, when it comes to etiquette. It will also help us in legislation when it comes to looking at the financial expenditures of the government. So all that, I believe that this training, we are not going as we came in.
This is the first cohort to be trained under the program, and the Malawi Parliament is expected to train all parliamentarians in the country. The training is being conducted in collaboration with the Malawi School of Government with the financial support from the European Union.
Democratic Progressive Party DPP Regional Governor for the North, Christopher Nzomera, who is also Presidential Advisor on Political and Parliamentary Affairs, says the administration of President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika is working tirelessly to generate enough forex, which is crucial for the importation of fuel and fertilizer, among other essentials. Ngwira made the remarks in Nzimba district during a meeting with party leaders. Evarista Lungu has filed this report, read in our studios by George Mkandawire.
Addressing the gathering, DPP Regional Governor for the North, Christopher Nzomera, urged Malawians to remain calm as President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika is working tirelessly to resuscitate the economy, which for the last 5 years was declining. He added that the DPP-led government is focusing on 4 key priorities: food security, fuel, fertilizer and forex, saying these are critical to the country's socio-economic development.
He says that I'm there to make sure that in Malawi have enough forex. Maize now is at a reasonable price. Fertilizer, that is what is working now. That at least the fertilizer price should be reasonable to Malawians.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Luwerezi, Fisher Nkwazi, who previously served as an independent MP, has officially joined the DPP and pledged to offer support fulfilling President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika's vision of transforming the country.
Oh yes, I've joined the DPP. Of course, this is not my first time joining DPP. I've always been DPP. It's just that I've now been welcomed in the party regional structures. We want to support the president. You know, he's got a good vision and he needs people with energy like me. So I'm ready to support the president so that his vision can be fulfilled.
During the meeting, members from different political parties, including Freedom Party, defected to the governing Democratic Progressive Party, DPP.
At least 800 cholera cases have been registered in Blantyre alone since January this year, according to official figures. There are fears that the figure may rise if people continue to use untreated water. Our reporter Rashida Matandiga visited Mpingwe in Blantyre, one of the hotspots of the outbreak, and now reports.
This is Chisombe's River, patronized by residents of Mpingwe in Bangwe. The river, used as an alternative source of water following water challenges in the area, is believed to be a major source of the current cholera outbreak. This far, the area has registered 104 cases out of 272, representing 38%. Jean Malinga and Namies Petro Lawyer use this contaminated water for their daily activities.
The river is contaminated, even though the water appears to be clean. We are facing a rise in cholera cases due to water problems.
Cedric Njoka, a representative of village headman Kandaya, says the last time people in the area had access to safe water was in 2020, even though Blantyre Water Board has a water reservoir at Mpingwe Hill, just a stone's throw away from the community.
We were notified in 2019 that the water board had plans to get water from Mulanje and that it would pass through our area and benefit the people here. Our leaders were happy that the problem would end, but we are surprised that the pipes went through Bangwe and the reservoir is at Bangwe Hill, but we do not have water here.
Njoka says many households now rely on Chisombe's River for daily water needs, a situation he believes is contributing to the spread of waterborne diseases in the area. He says the only alternative source of water is a private kiosk which serves a population of nearly 5,000 people. Member of Parliament from Mpingwe Bangwe constituency, Justice Katika, has acknowledged the problem and says he has engaged Blantyre Water Board to find a lasting solution.
The water board team is already on the ground helping us, so we are very happy and we are urging the authorities at Blantyre Water Board to help Bangwe, Mpingwe and Cholera.
Blantyre District Chief Preventive Health Officer Innocent Mvula admits that they have failed to terminate cholera outbreak within the 21 days timeline which was set in April this year.
Blantyre Water Board understands the problem. Because 3 weeks ago we were there together with the Chief Executive Officer from Blantyre Water Board just to appreciate the water problems that the people of Bangwe are facing. Secondly, the water kiosks, most of them, I think you have already said that, they are not working. So Ministry of Health has got some funding that is going to help the people of Bangwe for them to access some water. So there are those discussions. But while we are waiting for that, that's why next week we are going to have that oral cholera vaccination campaign just as a stopgap measure while we are waiting for this.
Blantyre Water Board, through its public relations officer Evelyn Konje, says the locations in question were never designated as residential, hence the infrastructure did not cover it. However, Konje was quick to say that engagements with community leaders are underway with efforts to save the people with clean and potable water. Saving people of areas like Mpingwe with clean and potable water is a significant step in attaining Sustainable Development Goal number 6 of ensuring availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all by 2030. Rashida Matandika, NBC News, Blantyre.
Maternal depression in Malawi is one of the untold and neglected issues as it hides behind the veil of strong women's smiles. Many women are praised for their strength and endurance, yet they break in silence. In this week's special report, our reporter Margaret Mapando highlights the untold stories of maternal depression from the clinic bench to the bedroom, revealing how grief, fear and silence are shaping motherhood in Malawi.
Motherhood is celebrated, but for some women it begins with silence, grief or fear. Doctors call it maternal depression, a mental health condition that affects women during pregnancy and up to a year after birth. It does not only happen after delivery. It can start during pregnancy, after miscarriage or stillbirth, or when the pressure of being a mother feels heavier than joyful. According to health experts, it is treatable, but in cases where it is not attended to, it becomes a chronic mental illness characterized by weight loss due to stress. In some cases, it leads to homicide, then suicide, with a mother killing her baby, then herself. Thousands of women are said to suffer from maternal depression across the globe. In Malawi, however, many women are said to fight maternal depression in silence. They don't know it has a name, can't describe what they're feeling, or even understand why they feel that way. The sadness, the fear, the tears feel like normal motherhood. Linley Jason is a lady residing in Area 23, Lilongwe. She miscarried at 3 months. She says no counseling was offered to her when she got pregnant. The question haunting her now is whether she will ever carry a child.
My other worry is that the doctor has told me to wait for about 6 months before trying to get pregnant again. And to prevent pregnancy during this period, they have advised me to use contraceptive methods. However, I have heard that most of these methods are not good for women. It is my wish, as well as my family's wish, to have a child. When I was pregnant, I had a miscarriage, and I'm worried that I may not be able to give birth.
But loss isn't the only trigger. For some, it's the child they do have. Jamia Samson, who gave birth to her 3rd female child, feels like all is lost because she doesn't have a male child.
One can rely on a male child to support a family financially. But when one has female children, they tend to get married and get controlled by the husbands. And you cannot rely on them to have a family, and that's my worry.
Then there's fear of losing oneself. Eliza Joseph, who has given birth to her 4th child this year, says she fears her business will be slow as she won't be able to handle it for months after childbirth.
We meet with a lot of challenges when we give birth. I'll give an example of our business. Personally, I sell food, and one has to wait first at least 4 months before going back to the business in order to take care of the child. As it stands, no one can buy food from us.
Favor Piri suffered from postpartum depression, which occurs after childbirth. She says at first she didn't know what was going on with her. Lucky for her, she sought medical help after finding out. Piri says spousal support is crucial during this period.
Postpartum depression is real, and despite women knowing it, their partners also have to be supportive. They also have to be taught. So I would urge men to learn to understand their women when they give birth, that these things are real, and they should be more supportive and understanding that your life changes completely, and we need you to help us.
A mental health nursing officer at Baila Hospital, Nelly Gogoda, says most women do not report when they are going through changes during pregnancy. She says currently the Ministry of Health and Sanitation is disseminating information on maternal depression, urging women to open up in order to get assistance.
Currently, the district of Baila is in a progress of training every health worker to be able to assess a mother on physical and on mental health.
Executive Director of the Malawi Health Equity Network, Mehen George Jobe, acknowledged that the country has made significant progress in maternal health. He, however, says efforts to address mental health still lags behind, as the focus is on physical checks, while maternal mental health gets little attention.
We need to strengthen mental health services associated with the antenatal and postnatal care. That is before a woman delivers, when she is pregnant. There must be some checks on mental health. If there's anything problem and there's need for psychosocial support, that support must be given by specialists. That should also happen after childbirth. We need, therefore, to train more specialists in maternal mental health who can provide the necessary support. And we also, as a country, both government and development partners need to invest in community-based counseling.
From Favor's postpartum tears, to Linley's unanswered questions, to Jamia's grief over a daughter, and Eliza's fear of losing her business, the stories are different, but the silence is the same. The smiles hide it, the silence feeds it. Maternal depression is stealing the joys of motherhood across the country. Health experts say it is time maternal depression gets the much-needed attention. Until then, the question remains, who hears the mother when the baby stops crying? Margaret Mabando, MBC News, Lilongwe.
This is MBC News, a reminder of our top stories this morning. First Deputy Speaker of Parliament says Malawians should expect an improvement in the usage of resources under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. At least 800 cholera cases registered in Blantyre alone since January this year. And in sports, Civil Service United got top of FDH Bank Premiership after beating Ekaya in Lilongwe. Welcome back. 49 survivors of the Zimbabwe road accident that happened last Tuesday have arrived in the country with support from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The 49 have been welcomed by Commissioner Wilson Mullen of the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, where he also delivered a message of condolence to the bereaved families and best wishes to the survivors on behalf of President Arthur Peter Mutharika. More in this report.
Speaking to the survivors at Kamuzu Stadium, Mullen assured them of government's full support medically and also support for their transport to their respective homes. He also expressed gratitude to the government of Zimbabwe for their full support at the time of the accident.
So the government of Zimbabwe has been very supportive from the day the accident occurred. The rescue teams were from Zimbabwe. These Malawians are in they're in Zimbabwean hospitals. Even on the day of departure, there was a function that the government of Zimbabwe officials attended alongside our ambassador in Zimbabwe. So the government of Zimbabwe has been very, very supportive. Let me also take advantage of this to mention that as the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, we are working with Malawians that are distressed due to the xenophobic attacks in South Africa, and we are working to repatriate them home. The developments will be shared in due course. Let me also mention that there's another accident that has happened in South Africa. A bus that was traveling from Malawi was involved in an accident in Limpopo province. Eight deaths have been recorded, and there have been injuries, close to 40 injuries, and we're working with the High Commissioner in South Africa to support those, and we'll also give you updates in due course.
One of the survivors, Enoch Sisia, while commending government for their timely response, said the experience is traumatizing and hard to forget. Out of the 49 survivors, 6 are children, 27 are men, while women are 6. 4 of them, comprising of a man and 3 women, have been admitted to Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital for further treatment, while others are still in Zimbabwe receiving treatment. There are expectations that the deceased will be repatriated into the country on Monday. Rashida Matandika, MBC News, Blantyre.
Journalists in the country on Saturday elected a new chairperson for the Media Institute of Southern Africa Malawi chapter. Misa Malawi, with Felix Washon emerging victorious to lead the organization for the next 3 years. In his acceptance speech, incoming chairperson of Misa Malawi, Felix Washon, expressed his gratitude for the support and indicated he will work with everyone.
Janet apeza mavoti 55. Pamene Mr. Alex Banda apeza mavoti 78. Innocent Mhongolo apeza mavoti 121. Pamene Felix Washoni apeza mavoti 150.
Mr. has won.
In sports, First Capital Bank has entered into a partnership with Blantyre Sports Club by constructing 3 bridges at the club's golf course. The project is worth 183 million kwacha. Speaking during the launch of the bridges, FCB founder Hitesh Nadkat said as a golfer and a member of the club himself felt obliged to step in as the course had no bridges, making it difficult to play golf during the rainy season.
In the rainy season, the golf course would have to close because the situation was that bad. So I was feeling that I should do something. And then, as it happens, the directors approached us for help, and I felt I must do something because I can, and this is my club and my city, and I felt it was my obligation. No, for the bank, it's just doing its corporate social responsibility, and obviously a lot of our customers play golf here, so we're helping our customers. And every society needs a few nice clubs, right? Every city needs one. So. Yeah, it's just our duty, and if our bank is operating in a nicer city, it's better for everybody, including me.
Chairperson for the club, Nathan Nkata, commended the bank for the bridges, saying there will ease mobility challenges.
The club before was falling apart. The course had no bridges. Even the main structure is falling apart. So we are trying to talk to corporate institutions to help us in building the club. So the donation of FCB, they gave us 183 million. We said we don't need cash, but do us bridges. Find a contractor, build it and hand over to us. Now here you go. They have set up very beautiful standards, and these bridges, they will be there for a very, very long time in the near future. When this Mood River, if it overflows, people cannot play golf. Now there are other 6 remaining bridges that are supposed to be built. So we still need support from corporate institutions to help us in building those bridges.
In a related development, Civil Service United has gone top of the FDH Bank Premiership after a 1-0 win against Ekaya at Silver Stadium in Lilongwe City. John Dambuleni scored the only goal of the match to take the team top with 7 points from 3 matches. Civil coach Abbas Magawa was delighted with the result, but was not satisfied with his team's performance.
I knew it would be a tough match. Ekaya come flat on us. Yeah, today we didn't play our normal game. Yeah, Ekaya won everywhere. They deserve to be a part on their back. Yeah, they did everything, but we managed to utilize the chance that we have, and the good thing that today we have done, it's a win.
We have seen that maybe using one striker, it's not working for Civil. Maybe it's only today, but what's we gonna do now moving forward?
Yeah, it's a young star. He's coming from our reserve side, and let's give him a chance. Let's give him 2, 3, 4 games. When he gains, he's going to get the boys, holding the boys. Then we'll be talking a different story. The coming games.
Ekaya FC interim coach Moses Chavula says despite the poor start to the season, the team remains hopeful, describing the team's performance as impressive.
Good fight from the boys. I think we have to go back to the drawing board and correct our mistakes. I think we considered an easy goal in the first 5 minutes. I think if we can go back and make sure that we organize our defense in terms of defending set pieces, corners and the free kicks. I think we had a good game. It's only that now we put ourselves under pressure to equalize the goal, and then we now rely on playing on long balls instead of playing the ball on the ground, because we don't have height. So our strength is to play football in the ground. But in the second half, after we come for the rematch again, then the players, they were playing the ball. They started building up from the back, which was now easy for us to penetrate in the forward. It's only that we have to also to work on our finishing, because the creativity up front and the finishing, I think that's what we have to work on as well.
Should we say that hopes are still there, because now 3 games without full maximum points?
Yeah, we still have hope. We played only 3 games. We have 27 games to play. I think if you get 1 win, I think we are good to go.
In other results for the matches played on Saturday, Moyale Barracks defeated Chitipa United by 3-1, while Mafco and Craig Sporting played out of goalless draw at Champion Stadium. Well, that item also concludes this edition of NBC News. A reminder of our top stories. First Deputy Speaker of Parliament says Malawians should expect an improvement in the usage of resources under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. At least 800 cholera cases registered in Blantyre alone since January this year. And in sports, Civil Service United got top of FDH Bank Premiership after beating Ekaya in Lilongwe. For live news updates, visit our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You are with me, Hilda Ngomano, from all of us here. Thanks for watching and good morning.
Good morning, and it's time for weather forecast. We are currently still expecting partly cloudy conditions to persist over most areas across the country, accompanied by sunny conditions as well as hot temperatures, especially in the afternoon hours. We are also expecting windy conditions to persist over some areas this afternoon. This is all due to the influence of an easterly air mass, which is still bringing in warm and less moist air into the country, influencing partly cloudy conditions as well as hot temperatures and windy conditions in some areas. This is why this morning, partly cloudy conditions are persisting over most areas in the south, the central as well as the northern part of the country, accompanied by windy conditions. Temperatures are also still feeling mild this morning over most areas in the south, such as Blantyre and Mwanza at 18 degrees Celsius, 23 over Ngabu and Nsanje, while it's cool over most areas in the central as well as the northern part of the country. This afternoon, we should expect partly cloudy conditions to persist over most areas in the south, the central as well as the northern part of the country, accompanied by windy conditions in some areas. Temperatures are also expected to remain hot this afternoon over most areas in the south, such as Blantyre and Mwanza at 29 degrees Celsius and 34 over Ngabu and Nsanje, while warm conditions are expected over most areas in the central as well as the northern part of the country. I'm Tebwa Kutamudu. Be wise, be weatherwise.